Back in 2018, I made a series of videos about a particular Reddit user who found himself in a frightening scenario. Claiming he was stuck in a cult, he kept us updated with the horrible abuse he was enduring and simply wanted a way out. After a very thorough investigation into the dilemma, we found out that the situation may not have been as genuine as the user wanted us to believe. Well, it looks like now we have another similar situation that has risen out of Reddit. While this new person's story has been met with skepticism, one thing we are sure of is that the cult they are describing is very real. But first, I'm just gonna drop in here and ruin the flow of the video to say a couple of things. First of all, this video is sponsored by you guys, so if you want to support the channel, you can buy some of these sick Scare Theater shirts at shopscaretheater.com. Also, you can support me on Patreon, where I'll be live streaming every single Friday. And if you can't afford to support me on Patreon, you can go to my second channel, Scare Theater 2, where I'll be posting some small little snippets from those live streams, along with some other stuff. I actually did ayahuasca. I don't know if you guys know. Do you know what ayahuasca is? I went out into the, when I was 19, I flew out to Peru, and I lived in the jungle with a shaman for a week, and I did ayahuasca. So now, back to the video. It all started in September of 2022, when people started noticing a series of strange comments being posted by a user named Yang Xiangbin. These comments started off innocent enough, talking about their dislike of boy bands and the confusing rules of the English language, but there were other comments they made that seemed a little bit off. On September 6, 2022, a thread titled, "What shouldn't you do after making love?" Yang Xiangbin left this oddly specific, somewhat comedic comment. I mean, I guess this is a valid answer to the question, but on that same day they left another weird comment on a thread titled, "Why don't you want to have children?" saying, "I hate who I'm married to and he already has kids with other women. Having a child with him will permanently connect me to him." Jeez guys, talk about trauma dumping. These comments were weird, but what ultimately raised a few eyebrows was when they commented on a thread titled, "What's the biggest mistake you've made?" They left a very straightforward comment: joining a cult. Not long after the events I'm about to describe to you, the Yang Xiangbin account was permanently removed from Reddit, but according to the archives of the account, it appears it was created at some point in late 2021, yet didn't seem to become active until September of 2022. One of their first posts was made on September 5th, titled, "What's the right way to come out as gay?" In the thread, they engage in a short conversation with another Reddit user, who facetiously replies, "Open the closet and step out." Yang continues to engage seriously, saying, "But what if a cult is waiting outside with weapons to either push you back in or kill you?" In the conversation that ensues, we learn that Yang is claiming they have been in this cult for 20 years and are now permanently connected to it. They go on to say that the world thinks they are a schizophrenic who created the cult, and they want to prove their innocence. They made another post that's a little bit more on the nose, titled, "How do you leave a cult?" We get another sarcastic reply from someone saying, "Front door, or the back door if you're trying to be sneaky." Yang responds with, "Thanks, might try this, but there's a 90% chance I might die." Geez, Yang, lighten up a little bit, it's a joke. After taking a 10-day break from posting, they make one more post, basically spelling out the entire situation for everyone. Their post is titled, "I married a cult leader." She details how, when she was young, she had a mental breakdown, and after being helped out by some church members, she befriended their leader, a man named Zhao Weishan. She developed a connection to him and started to trust him. Shortly afterward, Zhao went from friendly to scary. Yang tells us that one day she started seeing visions in the corner of her eyes that frightened her. She told Zhao about this, as advised by the church members, and he started telling her that what she was seeing were visions of God, and that she was the second coming of Jesus. This escalated into them getting married and forming their religion to be what it is today, a group known as Eastern Lightning.
It is a banned Christian cult in China.
They're brazen and they're unpredictable.
It claims to have thousands of followers.
The Eastern Lightning Group, also known as the Church of Almighty God, was established in China in 1991, and is today estimated to have over 3 million members. At its core, it's basically just a Christian group with one big difference. They believe that Jesus Christ has returned to Earth and he's currently living in the body of a Chinese woman named Yang Xiangbin. Researchers who have tried studying the group say it's difficult to get too much information on them because of their secretive nature. But here's what we do know. The history of this group begins with the woman who was the center of it all, Yang Xiangbin. She was born in 1972, and around 1990 she failed her college entrance exam and could not attend university. Absolutely devastated by this, she started experiencing a multitude of psychological problems. A nearby Christian church took her in, and she found a lot of comfort in their community. She got very involved with the community, and eventually, in 1991, she started claiming that she was speaking to the Holy Spirit and receiving visions from him. Not long after this, she came into contact with Zhao Weishan, a member of another controversial religious group called the Shouters. They became very close and eventually developed an intimate relationship with each other. Zhao began spreading Yang's teachings and eventually started telling people that not only was Yang just a prophet of the Lord, but she was actually the second coming of Jesus. This belief spread rapidly and is what made Yang and Zhao become the center of what would become Eastern Lightning. In 1995, the group was classified as an evil cult by China's Ministry of Public Security and banned. In September of 2000, Zhao and Yang were granted political asylum in the United States, and to this day, they live in New York and direct the movement from there. The group has been the center of a lot of controversy ever since its inception, but the controversy that Eastern Lightning is most well known for occurred in 2014. On May 28, 2014, a 37-year-old woman named Wu Shuoyan was in a McDonald's waiting for her husband and son. A group of 6 people, one of them being only 12 years old, entered the McDonald's and announced that they were missionaries. They went around asking the customers for their cell phone numbers. When they asked Wu for her number, she refused, twice. The group lost their patience and proceeded to beat her with mops, throw a chair at her, and stomp on her head. The entire attack was caught on camera, and the footage is still available to see. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the full video, obviously, because this video will get demonetized if I do, but if you seriously want to watch it, it's not that difficult to find, you sick f***s. But basically, Wu died at the scene as a result of her injuries, and the attackers were arrested and identified by the government as Eastern Lightning members. Representatives of Eastern Lightning publicly condemned this incident and said they had nothing to do with it. The 5 adult attackers were found guilty, and 2 of them were executed in 2015. It's not entirely clear if these attackers were truly Eastern Lightning members or not, but during the trial, the attackers did not recognize Yang Xiangbin as the reincarnation of Jesus, but rather they had 2 female leaders of their own that they believe were both the reincarnation of Jesus. If you're wondering how that works, I'm not really sure. I think they said that it was some kind of like a split soul kind of thing, but really, does it really have to make sense? In 2017, Chinese authorities announced that 2 of the attackers have been successfully re-educated in jail. These re-educated attackers are on record saying that their group was separate from Eastern Lightning, but they did blame the books and websites of Eastern Lightning for ideologically corrupting them in their youth. As a result of all of this, the Chinese government does not view Eastern Lightning very favorably. To this day, Eastern Lightning maintains that they are not a violent group, and that they are simply facing religious persecution by the Chinese government. There has been great debate among scholars who have studied this group, many of them tending to side with the fact that it is plausible that a lot of the claims about the group are overblown by the Chinese government. But that's for another video entirely. We're here to look at Yang Xiangbin's Reddit account. So, this person is claiming not only to be a frightened member of the cult, but to be the center of the whole thing. They're trying to paint a picture that they never wanted to be part of something like this, and were just manipulated by Zhao. She feels a lot of resentment toward the cult, even creating an entire subreddit dedicated to being anti-Eastern Lightning. But just like with the last Redditor that was stuck in a cult, I don't buy it, and I'm sure you don't either. While I guess it's sort of an interesting story they were trying to create here, none of it makes any sense. Coming to Reddit for advice on how to escape a cult just isn't a reasonable thing to do, and every interaction Yang has with the people on there suggests that they are fishing for attention, and not any actual solutions to the problem. They're happy to engage with some people that ask them questions about their situation, but anyone that gives legitimate advice is ignored. These comments right here all suggest helping Yang find organizations that help people who are stuck in cults, and advise them that consulting randos on Reddit isn't going to be helpful. Yang ignores all of this. Furthermore, they express concerns about their safety multiple times in these conversations, yet, for someone who fears for their life, they are incredibly reckless with their identity. They freely gave out their name, story, and the name of the cult with zero hesitation. When someone suggests to Yang that they should call the police, they say they can't do this because he tracks her phone and he could hear her. Yet, somehow he's completely oblivious to all these Reddit posts. I try to explain this away by saying, Reddit seems good as it's one of the few things I have that don't draw suspicion and could possibly become popular. This is completely inconsistent with another comment they made saying, yes, the cult has communities on Reddit. When asked for any proof of this actually happening, they refused to engage. So to be clear, we're supposed to believe that this user, who is so scared for their life at the moment and needs to be super secretive about what they're doing, is openly broadcasting the very thing that could get them killed with absolutely no hesitation.
Okay guys, I was just kidnapped by this cult and I'm sending out this help message. I have to be very, very quiet. If they know that I'm doing this, they're going to kill me, okay? So please don't tell them that I'm uploading this video to https://youtube.com/scaretheater. Theater with an ER, not an RE. Okay, so once again guys, we have to be very, very discreet. Please send help.
So yeah guys, I think there's a reason this account got suspended. It looks like they were just trying to use this cult for attention. And thank God no one's giving them any attention, right? Wait a sec. Oh, Oh, and before I forget, at my last Patreon live stream, I promised my patron, SpaceyTW, that I would look into the camera at the end of my next video and say, I love you, Spacey. So, there we go. Thanks for the support. Also, one of you tweeted at me a picture of you wearing the Scare Theater merch, so here that is. You're looking pretty good. Thanks for the purchase.